What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod back with another video. And today I'm going to share a live thrift haul with you guys. And I usually only do my live shows on Sunday at 1 p.m., 4 o'clock Eastern time, since I'm on the West Coast. But right? So for me, I figured the best way that I can still provide some really strong content for you guys and still engage with you during the week is to throw up some of these live shows occasionally throughout the week, because I know a lot of people there aren't able to attend the live shows on Sundays because you guys are outsourcing, hitting garage sales, stuff like that, family time, which is super important as well. So I figured I'm gonna try to do incorporate some live shows during the week as well. That way I don't have to spend as much time editing, because those of you that watch some of my trip to the thrifts, it takes a lot of time to edit those videos. And those are my favorite type of videos to put out. But at the same time, motivation is funny. You know what I mean? Motivation comes and goes. And I don't want to lose the motivation. I don't want to stop putting out content. So I'm like, what's the best way for me to put content out? And that's to just go ahead, turn the camera on, and go live. So I figured I'll go ahead and do that. We got Saving Sister in the chat saying finally caught you live. Well, yeah, that's the best part of it, because now I'm able to reach people that's not able to catch those live shows on Sundays. So I'm not gonna make this a very long show. We're not gonna sit here for like an hour. What I wanted to do is just really drop some quick gems on you guys, because I think I didn't see enough content lately about this. So I might just be ahead of the curve, but I just want to go ahead and give you guys some gems. So when it comes to this one, yesterday, I tell you guys all the time, I go to these thrift stores. I go to the same 2 to 3 Goodwills basically every day. I don't take a day off with when it comes to going to these Goodwills. So I picked up a bunch of old software, right? These are all of these software stuff. Some is for Microsoft, some is for IBM. I have like 12 boxes in front of me. They're all brand new and sealed in its original packaging. Some of these came from like 1995, and some a little older than that. And you guys can see on there, I paid $3.99 for these pieces, right? So when it comes to these $3.99 boxes, the price when it came to pricing these out, it was kind of difficult, because they're rare. These are old software that a lot of people, for the most part, people are selling them, but they might be used. So selling it brand new in the original packaging is pretty rare. So when it came to figure out a price, I priced it a little higher because I know it's rare, and for somebody that's actually looking for it, you don't have a ton of options to go for it. So I put it pretty high, but I priced it for best offer, because I know if a good offer comes along, I'll go ahead and take that. But why I'm telling you guys about me picking up this old software is that during the summertime, right? Last year around this time, I experienced slow sales. And the sales started, it was gradual. When I first started, let's say February was like my best month, because I realized that was tax return season. So a lot of people was just spending frivolous, like just wilding with money. Everybody got their tax returns, so they were just buying whatever. And then I realized that March started to slow down. April got really slow. And then as soon as we got into the summer, as soon as May hit and June hit, things started to really change. And I started to get nervous, because I'm like, this reselling business is pretty crazy. It's just like any other business. People say that, but when you're experiencing it, it's a little difficult to kind of comprehend. So at that time, I was saying to myself, I'm not going to let this happen next year. So some of the tips that I'm gonna give you guys is to kind of prepare for that summer slowdown, as people like to call it. And the best way that I was able to prepare for that was to mainly just start selling other things outside of clothing. When I first started my eBay store, I was only selling menswear. So that means, of course, men's shirts, shoes, ties, stuff like that. But I was really focused on blazers, overcoats, more business attire. So that was my focus. And during the summertime, people aren't buying that. Like there's men that go to work and they're not looking for a suit. During the summertime, they're looking for shorts. They're looking for, who knows, maybe looking for a hat with a brim. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily looking for suits and overcoats and stuff like that, for obvious reasons. So when I started, what I started to do was just graduate into other topics, other categories. And I made a video about this a while ago. It's been at least 8 months since I made a video about this. So I wasn't necessarily going to talk about it again, but I figured that since, summer is on the way, I might as well put this content on now, because I'm not telling you guys to go ahead and buy old ass software. That's not going to save your eBay business. But what I am telling you to do is to start thinking outside the box. And if you're mainly just a clothing seller, start thinking about selling some hard goods. Start thinking about selling just anything that people usually look for during the summer. So that might be hiking gear. That might be water sports stuff. That might be camping stuff. That might be a grill. Who knows? Like, those are the type of stuff that you should start incorporating into your eBay store, especially if you don't want to experience a summer slowdown. And another thing that some people do to kind of counteract the summer slowdown, what they would do, some people just take the summer off, and they might take that time to just source and prepare for the fourth quarter, because that's usually where a lot of people do a lot of their business. A lot of people's revenue comes in the fourth quarter because more people are shopping, more people are getting gifts and stuff like that. So let me see. Let me hop right back into the chat, see what you guys are saying. Sad you didn't win the get your money back challenge. I mean, the guy that did win, he flipped something for like 30 or 50 and got over $200. So he did pretty good with that. So I'm not mad about that. Chris Powers, you have helped me step my thrifting game up. That's what's up. I'm glad I'm able to help. That's what I'm here for. That's what we doing this for. Somebody says, do you ever do 7-day or 30-day eBay auctions? When it comes to auctions, I don't necessarily do auctions often. I have a small eBay store. My eBay store is 250 listings. So that means you get 250 fixed listings and 250 auctions. And for the most part, I've just used the fixed listings. I like buy it now. I think it's an easier transaction. You kind of can get that initial buyers not buyer's remorse, but when a buyer sees something that they really like, you can catch them a lot faster than if they had to wait for an auction. You know what I mean? So that's why I prefer dealing with fixed listings. But like I said, for the most part, I don't mess with auctions too much. But if I was, I usually price my item to a point where I'll be comfortable with getting. So if it's a $20 item, I'll start my listing at $20, and anything more than that is just icing on the cake. Let's see, what's the link for your other group that we can pay for more advice? Oh, thank you very much for asking. So that's my Patreon group, and that is the first link in the description of this video. And on the Patreon, I started Patreon last Monday, and we got 4 people in there already. So that's dope to me, because I think that those 4 people, they're interested in growing their business, but at the same time, they genuinely want to support me and want me to keep putting out this content. So that's super dope. So for those of you that's joined the Patreon, if you're in the chat, thank you very much. If you're not in the chat and you catch this on the playback, thank you, because that means a lot to me. So everybody that's joining in on the Patreon from here on out, I'm going to continue to put out content on there on a weekly basis. I'm not going to stick to a certain day, but just know every week you're going to get something from me, because when it comes to something like that, I only want to put out premium content. I'm not going to put out stuff just to fill up your inbox, or just put something out just to say I did it. It's going to be worth the money. Like, I want it to be something where you said, oh, this gem he just gave me literally is going to pay for the $15 a month subscription service for that. So that's to the point where I want it to be. I put one video out there already now. That was more about the mindset that I have coming into the resale business. And in that video, I also spoke about how to price your items to sell quickly. And I think that's super important, because a lot of people, they do thrift haul videos. They talk about, I bought this shirt for $5, it sells for 30. People don't talk about the science behind selling and the science behind pricing. And believe it or not, there's a science to it. You can't just buy a shirt, put it up, take a couple pictures, hey, buy it. Like, you got to do a little more research into it. So I spoke more about that. So those of you still asking questions, I'm glad there's so much people in the chat right now, because I didn't think it was going to be as active as it was, considering it's like pretty random. But how would you sell vintage Harley Davidson 3D emblem shirt auction? I don't think I would do an auction for that. I would probably just price it high. I know those are pretty valuable shirts. They sell for about $100-$150. I'll price mine pretty high, depending on the condition. And that's just how I like to do it, because with auctions, it could go really good, But the problem with auctions is that a lot of buyers, once it's time to pay, they realize, oh, I don't want to spend this much, or they just change their mind. So that's why I don't necessarily stick with high priced items and I put them in auction. I don't really do that too often. Um, you got someone says, what to do when eBay took down my listing claiming it's not authentic, but it was genuine Nike Saint Germain shirt. um, you can't really do anything about that, to be honest. You can try to contact eBay and let them know that they were wrong, but very seldom does eBay ever like go back when they take a listing down, or if they suspend you, it's very rare that they reverse that decision. So it sucks. It happened to me, so it basically happens. You know what I mean? These are the type of things that happen sometimes. But just keep pushing, keep doing what you gotta do. List it on Poshmark, especially if you know it's real. You know, list it on Poshmark and it'll sell. Keep doing your thing. Um, Somebody else says, I have a full-time job and sell on eBay. Just started a few months ago because of you and other YouTube channels making good money. Thank you. That's what's up, bro. I appreciate that. Johnny B. Esther, Johnny B. Esther Fines. I appreciate that. Like, that's literally why I do what I'm doing, because I feel like reselling isn't an easy business. It isn't for everybody, but it's one of those things that if you educate yourself enough, you put in the work, you put in the time, it's worth it. It pays for itself in the long run. So I appreciate hearing comments like that. Grandma Cheap just coming in, joined your Patreon. Thank you very much, Grandma Cheap. You're a real supporter. Me and Dom, we definitely appreciate you. She for real. Like we definitely appreciate it because you always in the comments, you always spreading positive energy. And as you guys know, the internet is a weird place nowadays. People just look for anything to start a problem or to spread negativity. And I'm not here for that. I'm here to just kind of inspire, motivate, and kind of share the knowledge with y'all. Because as I'm talking about sharing the knowledge, there's this book I'm reading now, and it's called The Way of the Superior Man, right? And it talks about those that just give. You just give freely. You don't give with the expectation of karma. You don't give with the expectation of, oh, if I do something for this person, they might do something good for me. Like, no, you just give. And once I started the YouTube channel, at first I was nervous because I'm like, damn, people in my city might be finding my channel. And when I go to these thrift stores, they might be finding the stuff that I'm telling people to pick up. But to be honest, that's not really happening. Like, there might be people in my city watching my channel, but for the most part, as long as you're doing what you got to do and you're putting yourself in a situation to win, you'll be good to go. And that's what I've learned. That's one thing that book has really taught me. And it's not something new, but it's something that it kind of reaffirms that message. So I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I appreciate y'all. I don't get to be in the live chat too often. Dom usually handles the live chat when we do this on weekends. So just hearing people, just being able to converse with y'all is good. Love your videos, Akil. I also started because of you and a few others. Your info made it clear, and I could do this. That's what's up. I'm glad I could help, man. That's what's up. You save people from doing things that aren't efficient or profitable by sharing your experience. It's helpful. Thank you, my brother or sister. I appreciate it for real. That's dope. Someone said, have you ever been scammed as a buyer on eBay? As a buyer on eBay, no, I haven't been scammed as a buyer. As a seller, it's happened a couple times. And when it comes to getting scammed, I know I spoke about this in a previous video before, but it's part of the business. There's some people that go about handling scams and stuff like that a little differently. The way how I go about it, every year you kind of have to reserve a certain amount of money to say, okay, if this accounts for returns, this accounts for just customer service, you know, a mishap that may have happened, a mistake that may have happened, any losses that may affect the business, you got to put a certain money aside every year just to kind of absorb those. And that's what some people do when it comes to scams. If they get scammed by a buyer or they get scammed by a seller, it is what it is. You just got to chalk it up as a loss. And hopefully whatever business you're in, hopefully in the long run, those small setbacks will just be absorbed within your funds of the money that you put aside every month. So don't trip too much about those type of stuff. Yes, like you said, it's the cost of doing business. Literally, it's the cost of doing business, because no matter what you're doing, whether it's online, whether it's a physical location, you're always going to deal with those type of situations. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep moving. Last year with the slowdown, did you feel like eBay or Posh was slower, or had you even started Posh then? No. So I was only on eBay at the time, and that's why I decided to actually get on to Poshmark, because I figured I just needed to put my products in front of more people, because the problem wasn't that I was buying stuff that wasn't good. The problem was that enough people wasn't seeing it. So in order for me to kind of balance it out and make some more money, I decided to put, just cross list. I was cross listing everything at that time. Everything on eBay was in my Poshmark, and vice versa. But now that I've got some more experience under my belt, I'm like sourcing specifically for eBay and sourcing specifically for Poshmark. So I don't cross list as much as I used to. But for those of you that might be only on eBay or you're only on Poshmark, I encourage you to get on another platform. I'm not telling you to join every platform, but two, I think, is a really good way to go about it. Three, things could get a little fuzzy and a little hard to handle. And four, I'm not with it. Four is just way too much for me. But I think if you're on eBay and you was to hop onto Poshmark, you would realize that it's such an easier platform. And if you started on Poshmark and you move on to eBay, it gives you the option to just start selling more items, whether it's hard goods, whether it's electronics, and outside of just clothing. So it just gives you another avenue to make some more profit. How much time it took you to transition to full-time reselling? When it came to me transitioning, I quit my job first. So I saved up about 6 months worth of income, and then I quit my job, and I figured that 6 months would give me some cushion, and it did. The only thing is, it wasn't until like the fifth month where I started making any real income. So I'm glad I did give myself that amount of cushion. But I always tell people, when it comes to making a transition to anything, the best way to succeed in that transition is to just go all in. So I didn't want to start selling things on eBay slowly and then quit my job. I figured the best way for me personally to get really good at eBay and to understand the platform was to just quit this job and just, save my the stress and the anxiety, because I was going through it. Like, I'm smiling in these videos, I'm cracking jokes, but back then nothing was funny. I was miserable, and Dom would tell you. So that's what worked best for me, just going all in, doing the research, watching as much content as possible, and actually just going out in the field. When I say the field, I mean these thrift stores, garage sales. You can sit in front of the computer all day long and absorb content, but if you're not actively out there, it's not going to be the same. Um, I agree, Grandma, unless you only do in household. But also, sorry, y'all. I know I got this new microphone, right? And this is all because of y'all. Because once the platform is growing, and I decided I needed to step up my game. So I got this microphone. This is the Blue Yeti Pro, the blackout edition. For those of you that are interested in a microphone, I had to step up my audio quality, so I got to make sure that I'm not mumbling. But thank y'all for supporting the channel, because without y'all supporting the channel, I wouldn't buy a microphone. And story continues. So we got somebody, Khadijah Rivera. How do you decide which items to list on Posh and which to list on eBay in terms of clothing? What criteria do you use? That's a good question. So for me, in my area, there's a lot of good items, right? The brands and the quality of clothing that I have access to is pretty high. I come across a lot of high-end brands. So I don't take that for granted. I see that that's a unfair advantage that I have compared to other resellers. So I usually put the higher end stuff on eBay, because not for any real specific reason. It's just mainly because Poshmark buyers, they're not necessarily willing to spend more on items. I've realized a lot of Poshmark buyers, they have like a certain threshold where it's like that $20 to $30 price range is a sweet spot for them. So I decided to just meet the Poshmark buyers where they are and provide the best $20, $30 items that I could find. So that means certain brands like what's a good $30 brand? Like a Patagonia shirt. That might sell the same way on eBay, but I would rather put that on Poshmark because it will sell faster on Poshmark, because that's a brand that's trendy. Young people are looking for it right now. So I'd rather put a brand that's trendy and less expensive on Poshmark as opposed to putting that on eBay. Because since I have a basic eBay store, I'm limited in the amount of listings that I have. So I got to be smart with it. So I don't want to put a $10 item on eBay and as opposed to putting a $10 item on Poshmark, because listings are free on Poshmark, and I have nothing to worry about. If it doesn't sell, cool. If it does, even better. So that's how I go about it. What system do you use for the time clothing inventory? Oh, what system do you use from the time clothing inventory gets to your house until listed in regards to taking measurements, steaming, etc.? So for that, I like to go by like 24 to 48 hours. That's like my sweet spot. But that's the thing. If I come across an item that I know I like, I'm listing it fast. If I come across an item that I just bought only because it sells for a decent amount of profit, it usually takes me a lot longer to sell. So that's actually a topic that I'm going to put on my Patreon channel, because I'm going to go into for way, way, way more detail into more of the mindset stuff when it comes to that, because I think that's something that we don't talk about enough when it comes to reselling. So I definitely just wanted to answer your question, because I didn't want to tell you, oh, go to Patreon. But for the most part, when it comes to me getting something to the house, I try to get it out within at least 2 days. Like the first day is if it needs to get washed or it has a issue, I try to relieve that issue immediately. And if, like, say I need to throw it in the washing machine, I'll do it that day. And then by the following day, if it's not listed and on eBay or on Poshmark, chances are it's too late and it might be in a death pile that will sit for months. So I hate having to deal with death piles. So that's the best way I can tell you. But I'm definitely going to make a video on Patreon about that, because I feel as if a lot of people, especially if you're new to reselling, you might do the research and you might find something like this that will sell for like $40. But if you don't care about it and you're not excited, because it's $40, you might put it down and say, well, whenever this sells, I got $40. And it takes a long time to sell that way. So let's keep going. We got some questions. Andrew Copper, good day, Akil. I'm interested in specifically selling shoes. I currently have a diverse pair from personal Jordans and Nikes. Any tips in selling sneakers on eBay and or Poshmark? When it comes to selling shoes, I suggest probably Poshmark might be the best way to go, mainly because of the shipping discount, and also because listing is free, right? So you can either price your items, especially if it's personal collection. I'm just assuming that you have some really good shoes, so you could price them a little higher, and you'll save money on shipping as well. Because on eBay, if you're new to selling, eBay, when it comes to shipping, is going to be a headache. You're going to have to do a lot of research on how to ship it properly. But with excuse me, but with Poshmark, all you do is just literally throw it in a box, ship it out. They send you the label, you print it, and you're good to go. So that might be your best bet. I just joined your Patreon group, Platinum Tier. That's what's up, Tech Worlds. Thank you. That's the first person in the Platinum Tier, by the way. I'm almost an ambassador on Poshmark, just trying to keep up with the parties and sharing. That's what's up, Tech Worlds. So let me just do a quick little talk about the Platinum Tier. The Platinum Tier is I literally created that tier because I've been getting a lot of questions about people asking me to check out their Poshmark closet. And I don't have a problem with doing that. I'll check out your closet. I might even buy some, but it takes a lot of time, especially if I'm gonna give you some tangible information. It's one thing for me to tell you, take better pictures, make a better description. But if I'm gonna look at your closet, I'm that type of person that I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna say, okay, this Vineyard Vine shirt you got, the fifth picture, you might want to change the lighting. You might want to take a better picture. Like I go into detail with stuff like that. So it takes time away from me, away from Dom. You know what I mean? So I just made it a platinum tier where you're still getting access to the content, but you're getting that individual help with your Poshmark closet that I think would be way more valuable than just me saying you need better pictures or change your description. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to do a platinum tier. So thank you for joining the Patreon, and we're gonna keep it We gonna grow it. We gonna grow it. I'm gonna put out content there for sure. Mr. Thrifty Texas. Um, Question: I had my first sale on eBay trying to figure out how the shipping works and choosing the right one. A brother need help. I know it because eBay is very difficult when it comes to shipping, and they just changed their the screens in order for you to ship, so it's even a little more difficult nowadays. But um, depends on what you're trying to sell. Send me. It's kind of hard to answer the question because I don't know what you're shipping, but I'm gonna just throw out this random tip. Try a padded flat rate envelope. That one is like $7.33, and I've been able to squeeze tons of stuff into that envelope. I've fit a size 12 pair of sneakers in a padded flat rate envelope, and the buyer sent me a message afterwards saying thank you so much. The package was they left feedback saying that the item was packaged securely and stuff like that. So try a padded flat rate. That's the best tip I can give because I don't know exactly what you sold, but try a padded flat rate envelope and I might take you far. Etsy is mostly for people making things or vintage. What I sell is vintage, interesting stuff. Or okay, that's what's up. What about Macari? I don't sell on Macari. I bought a couple things on Macari. I just don't sell on that platform. There's no real reason why. Like I'm not gonna bash Macari. I don't sell on Macari because I'm just locked in on two platforms right now, eBay and Poshmark. Um, Most resellers that are selling at a very high level, they usually sell on one platform. If they're selling on two, that means they cross listing. But for me, since I'm like really doing stuff on eBay and really doing stuff on Poshmark, anything else would be too much for me to deal with. Mainly because if I cross list on three different platforms and it gets sold on one, I have to take it off of the other two, and that could be a headache. You know what I mean? So I don't mess with Macari for that reason. How long do you keep inventory? Does everything you list sell? How long do I keep inventory? I usually keep it for about 1 to 2 months, 3 months, depending on if it's a rare item and I know it has potential to sell for some big profit. I'll hold on. Does everything I list sell? Absolutely not. If I told you that, I would be lying. And if anybody else told you that, they probably lying too. Some stuff I pick up, I think it's dope. It takes 4 months to sell. And by that fourth month, I'm like, okay, it's taking too long. And I would take it to Crossroads or Buffalo Exchange, play those. I'll trade it for something better. But everything I buy doesn't sell. I'm good at sourcing. I'm good, but I ain't that good. Uh, I know it's a no topic, but can you tell anything about using bots on Poshmark? I've heard many top sellers secretly using those. I don't use bots. I don't have my Poshmark closet isn't that big, so I don't necessarily need to use a bot. It takes me like 15 minutes or less to share my entire closet. So using a bot it would be a waste of money for me to use a bot. For me, I'd rather just share my closet. But if you have a really big Poshmark closet, a bot might be beneficial for you. But don't go out there and buy a bot, and if you get your account snatched, blame me. Don't do that because I don't trust it. That's the other reason too. I just signed up with Poshmark. I plan to start sailing next week. That's what's up. You sailing? Oh no, selling. I was about to say sailing. That's big money. I just signed up with Poshmark. I plan to start selling next week just to try it out as a part-time business for now. Any advice? Start with your closet. Start with your personal closet. You might have a shirt and you might want to sell the shirt off your back. Start like that. I don't suggest you go out to thrift stores and start buying stuff to sell because you might not like reselling. It might not be for you. So start with your closet first, and then from there, you might be able to do better that way. We got a lot of people in the chat. 74 people. Hit the like button for me. That way eBay knows. That way YouTube knows that what we're doing is beneficial. That way YouTube knows the public likes what I'm doing and they push my stuff. You know what I mean? So hit the like button and we could keep it moving. What's the name of your closet? At DapperAdvisor. Let me put that in the chat. At DapperAdvisor. That's my Poshmark closet. Y'all could check it out. Platinum tier member. Woo, that's what's up. We got 2 platinum tier members in the chat. My Patreon is blowing up. This is the most activity we getting all week. That's what's up. I appreciate y'all. Y'all gonna make me put out the content today. If that's the case, because I can't have all these people joining Patreon and then I'm not putting content out. You're gonna make me end the live stream early so I could get to y'all. But I appreciate y'all. I see 2 people, so that's what's up. I definitely appreciate it. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep this Patreon thing moving because I think it's another opportunity for me to put out content for y'all, and the content that I think might be really beneficial, that might be most beneficial to sellers, is not clickbait stuff. It's not the stuff that people searching for. So it's not going to give me views on YouTube, but it's going to help you boost your business. You know what I mean? It's going to take you to the next level. So I rather use my time on information that people is actually going to use, as opposed to me trying to put out content on YouTube and it's not getting clicks, and then YouTube start to kill my channel, because that's a thing. If you put out videos that's not getting views, YouTube not going to keep messing with you. So I want to do it that way instead. So thank y'all. I appreciate it. Let's see. I am newer at this, but my tip on selling shoes is take a few minutes and clean them up, even if they are in great shape to start with. Great pictures enhance cleanliness too. Absolutely. That's good advice. That's real advice. That's one of those type of tips that goes a long way. So when it comes to shoes, if it's dirty, you might still sell it. But if you clean it up just a little bit, or even if you throw it in the washing machine and make it a little nicer and brighter, you can get, instead of $10 profit, you could get $25 profit or $20 profit. And that goes a long way over the span of a year when you're talking about annual revenue. You know what I mean? So that's real tips right there. Poshmark just had me do 12 verification tests. I'm not familiar with why they would do that, but I mean, just go through the verification, because you gotta sell. If they asking you for verification, just go through it. I only think I got one or something like that, but these type of things happen. My biggest sale so far is the shoe category. Yeah, mine too. Do you find Buffalo Exchange picky when it comes to trading with them? No. When it comes to trading with Buffalo Exchange and those type of places, the more you go, the more you realize what type of brands they like, what type of styles they're looking for. And sometimes you might just have to go talk to them, ask them, hey, what kind of stuff y'all looking for? And excuse me, some people might go as far as telling them like, hey, I'm a reseller. I come across a lot of brands. I have some stuff in my inventory right now that y'all might be interested in. Let me know what y'all want. That way they're looking at you differently, as opposed to just somebody trying to clear out your closet, and they look at you as somebody that could be an asset. So you might want to do that too. Christian Pizzuti for the $1. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. I love the super chats. How big, how small, we don't care. Because when I get $1, I'm gonna turn that $1 into 3, and then that 3 into 5, and that 5 into 10. So that's appreciative. Thank you, Christian. Andre Marcano. Hi, Akil. Thank you for your videos. Question: how much time do you spend sourcing? Is it every day? Are there optimal times to do sourcing? Any time management tips? I made a video on this in the past too, but I might have to redo that video, because that's when I first started on YouTube. So that content probably isn't that nice. It's probably like cringeworthy if you look at it. So for me, I like to source early in the day. I like to go every day. I might go to the thrift once or twice a day. It's all about consistency. It's not about doing the exact same thing every day, but it's about doing it every day. So you might go early. You might go early one day, and then in the afternoon the next day, and then you would realize, okay, this thrift store, they replenish their racks in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. The more you go, the more you'd realize their habits. And that's why I tell people to go all the time, because the more you go, you'll be able to realize, okay, this is old stuff. I've seen all this. Okay, this employee is here today. The prices might be better. Like, it's all those type of stuff that you would learn the more thrifting you do. Any tips for replacing shoestrings? Dollar Tree, you got shoelaces. I would say I know Rite Aid, and a lot of those Rite Aid, CVS, they sell shoelaces. I know CVS sends me coupons all the time, so you might want to use like a 40% off coupon and buy some shoelaces and replace them like that. Do you think Poshmark will ever use PayPal? They took $17 from a pair of Jordans. Well, Poshmark does 20% fees. So that means you sold your item for a decent amount of profit. So they're gonna take their 20% fees. So there's no real way around it. Only way around it is if you was to sell stuff on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or anywhere that you don't necessarily need to deal with fees. So I mean that's that it just is what it is, you know what I mean? I don't think they'll ever use PayPal though. I think they might just stick with their own processing system. And honestly, not to say I like that system more, but I respect it more because they cut out the middleman. And I think eBay is trying to learn from Poshmark so that they can cut out the middleman as well. So I don't think they'll ever work with eBay or I mean PayPal. You ever source for inventory on Poshmark or eBay? Um, not intentionally. I don't necessarily go on Poshmark looking for stuff to sell. I go on Poshmark looking for shoes and stuff for myself, and I would rock the shoes a few times, and then I would sell it eventually. But there was a few times where I came across really good deals, like stuff that people just clearly didn't know what they had, and I just bought it just because. But I don't like intentionally go sourcing for stuff on eBay or Poshmark. I encourage y'all to do that because that's a good opportunity. But like I said, in my area, the quality is just so high that I don't necessarily need to do that. I'm better off going to the Goodwill or going to a local thrift store and finding some real quality stuff. But if y'all in an area that doesn't have good stuff, definitely use Macari and use Poshmark. Let's see if any other questions. Thanks so much, brother Akil. Keep doing your thing. It's a blessing. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are there any other clothing exchange places like Buffalo Exchange and what brands they mostly accept? The other places is Buffalo Exchange, Plato's, Crossroads. Um, if anybody else knows any other stores like that, put it in the chat. But those are the only three that I know: Buffalo Exchange, Plato's, Crossroads. I, I'm pretty sure there's others, but I know there's like other consignment shops. You might even want to Google local consignment shops because those three that I just named are big chains. So those are like everywhere in the country, but you might have local ones in your area that have the same model. So just do a quick Google search. ThreadUp, there we go. ThreadUp is one. Uptown Cheapskate, there we go. See, that's what I like. Helpful community. That's what we do. One hand wash the other. Teresa just joined. Enjoy your videos and the info you share. Thank you. You have great taste in clothing. Thank you very much. Saving sister. Sometimes they put up established rapport. If Plato's Closet doesn't accept my items, I go on another day with a different worker, and many times they'll accept what was just rejected. Absolutely, that happens all the time. Because when you what you're dealing with when you go to these stores, you're just dealing with, regular people that have taste, and it's just not there. It just might not be their cup of tea. So they might not think it's worth selling. But the next day, the other employee comes in and they like your stuff and they buy everything. That happens to me all the time. And I used to get upset. I would say, "What? This is dope. This is a nice shirt. What's wrong with you? You don't know what you got." And then I would just take it the next day and they'll buy everything. So I just, the more you do in it, the more, the less emotions get involved, the less personal you take stuff. But I used to get mad when they would do stuff like that. I'd be like, "Why y'all not taking my stuff? This is good stuff." But anyway, let me see. Akil, have you used the new send to offer watches on eBay? I have tried to use it, but no real benefit. Yes, I used it. I use it maybe a few times a week. The problems I've been facing with the send offers to watches is that you might have 15 watches and then you send the offer to watches and it said they sent it to 3 people. So it lets me know that there's either a problem with that feature and it's still got bugs that eBay needs to fix, or I didn't necessarily have 15 watches and that's a different problem that eBay has to fix. So either way, it's not all the way, you know, 100% yet when it comes to that feature. But I mean, it works. I've sold a few items that way. I've sold like 3 or 4 things over the past week. No, not a week, 2 weeks, because it's Wednesday. So I've sold a few things. So it works. Still do it. But just like any new feature or new product, it still has its bugs. Let's keep checking and see what people are asking. Will you do a flea market video? I don't go to flea markets that often, but I can do a flea market video. There's one. Oh, there's actually one today, and it ends at 4 o'clock. So chances of me going is pretty slim. But I could definitely do a flea market video because it's a different type of energy compared to a flea market, compared to a garage sale, compared to a thrift store. So I'm gonna do one of those, and hopefully I can find some good stuff so it could be entertaining for y'all. Jason Kadua, have you burned any affliction shirts lately? Nah, but I'm thinking about it. I got eight affliction shirts in my Poshmark closet that have not sold. I had 12, some three sold, one had to get returned, but I still have eight. So I mean, if they don't get sold soon, they're gonna end up in Crossroads and Buffalo Exchange in a minute because I don't like having stuff that long. Do you offer free shipping for clothes on eBay? Sometimes I offer free shipping. The thing with offering free shipping is that if you're going to do it, you need to still price your item higher. That way, the buyer's still paying for shipping, but they feel like it's a good deal. Because it's one thing to price something at 19.99 plus $5 shipping, and it's a whole other thing to price that item at say 24.99 or 25.99. Like you're basic with free shipping, you're basically still charging for shipping, but that free shipping aspect is still like a little nugget that some buyers want. Um, what you just said about the worker's taste, I tell new resellers often, don't let your personal taste get in the way of what you source for resale. That's a good tip. That's a real good tip because if it was up to me, I would only sell high-end men's clothing. And when I say high-end, I mean expensive brands like Ketone and Xenia and Suit Supply and all those type of brands that sell for like 200 plus. That would be the market I would sell. Brioni, those type of things. But if I was to solely rely on those type of things, I would probably make 1 to 2 sales a week. So you got to broaden your market. You know what I mean? If so, for me, I can't sell only the things I like because I'd be in trouble. So that's a good tip, man. Have you heard of eBay possibly doing an FBA type of structure in the next few months? I heard they're already doing it in Australia and maybe a couple of more markets. No, I haven't heard of that yet. I probably should do some research on eBay and what they're doing. I live in Southern California, so Northern California people they could, go to San Jose and tap into eBay and jump into the office. But for me, I got to do some more research. I haven't even heard about that. But if they did, that might be dope. I mean, that I could see potential in that. I probably wouldn't use it because I still would rather ship stuff myself. But for those people that are new to eBay and they don't want to handle shipping, or it's a little too much time for the time consuming, that could be a big thing. So I'll give an update on that when I do my research, and I might talk about that next Sunday. I mean this Sunday during the other live show. Do you have any USPS shipping 101 videos? I just started and my shipping knowledge is pretty weak. No, I don't have any shipping videos, but there's tons of other people that do shipping videos. I'm probably gonna do one. I'm probably gonna be super specific with my shipping videos because there's so many shipping videos on YouTube. I'm probably gonna do one, make it very, very specific, like how to ship heavy jackets, how to ship shoes, how to ship like instead of just how to ship. You know what I mean? I might do something like that, but we'll see. I believe eBay buyers can choose can choose not to receive emails and offers from us. So those watchers aren't going to be counted as watchers. That's a good point. Vasquez Vintage. That's a good point. I never thought of that, but that's a good point. I'm pretty sure that's probably what's happening. Khadijah Rivera, when getting your packages out to your buyers, do you take your packages to your post office or do you arrange for pickup? I take it to the post office only because the post office is right next to the Goodwill. So by me leaving the house and taking the stuff to the post office, I have to go to Goodwill. And by the in the other side of town, my gym is next to the post office as well. So if I go to the post office, that means I gotta work out because I'm right there. And then the post office the gym is down the street from the Goodwill. So it's like if I leave the house, I gotta do those things every day. Mario Don Mario Tell me how to pronounce your last name because you be in the chat all the time. You always supporting, but I don't want to ruin your name. So I'm gonna just say Mario because I don't know how to say the last name. But I've been going hard. Uh Dones like Jones. Okay, that's what's up. I've been going hard on the dress clothes recently, especially when the rest of the store is picked over. Found a Tom Ford blazer. Wow, that's crazy. Tom Ford? That's a good pickup because Tom Ford, those are one of the brands that like the value doesn't go down. Some brands, the value might dip. It might be old, it might be vintage, and it's not expensive. But Tom Ford always sells good, so that's a good find. Pizza Cat, do you do markdowns, clearance on eBay to get sales going? No, just wondering how to boost. No, I don't do sales. Um, Sales work. Sales absolutely do work, but I just don't do it. I just rather not put my stuff on sale because, and this might be the wrong mentality, right? But the stuff I'm selling, I'm trying to already give people a good bargain. I'm trying to the service I'm trying to provide is the fact that you're getting an item for a really good price. So by me to further slash the price, it's not gonna sit well with me. So I just don't do it. But sales work, but I just don't do it. Have you considered selling on Amazon? Yes, I'm gonna ship out my FBA package probably in the next couple of weeks. I've waited a while before I did it because I wanted to send off a good amount of stuff, and I got like 20 things. So I might do a video on that with my experience on FBA. Could you please include a shipping video, some info on how to ship wide brim hats? See, stuff like that, very specific. I can do that. Something very, very specific. Yeah, that's a good video idea. All right, so I'm not seeing any other questions. I hope I answered everybody's some questions. I hope I provided some value to y'all today because that's what all this is about. I'm not about wasting time, and if I'm be on live stream and talking to y'all, it got to be valuable. So I hope this was worth y'all time. Like I said, the original intent of the video was just to share some of the stuff I've been picking up, and a lot of these is just old software, and it's not going to sell for a ton of profit. I picked up all of these for $4 a piece. They sell anywhere between $40 and $60. The downside is that since it's very niche specific, it might take me 3 to 6 months for these items to sell. So it wasn't a huge investment, but I'm just thinking long term, and I'm thinking during the summertime when sales are slowing down, what items can I kind of rest on that I can say, okay, this might still sell during the summer when people aren't necessarily looking for clothes. You know what I mean? So that's just another way to look at it. But definitely, I just want to thank everybody again. Those of you that joined the Patreon, I'm about to go to the gym, and when I get back, I'm about to work on some Patreon stuff. And also, if you want me to check out your Poshmark Closet and give you a review, send me an email. I'm gonna put my email in the chat right now just so that y'all can see it, because I know how Patreon works. It's a message that that you usually would get from me, but I want to make sure that those that signed up for the platinum tier, I want to make sure that I'm giving you your advice about your Poshmark Closet ASAP. So if you want, send me an email and I'll send it. I'll send you your stuff right back. Everybody saying thank you. Holly, hello, Lolly. Hey from Denver. Thanks for all the great content you put out. I'm a Poshmark newbie. That's what's up. No problem. I'm glad to help. You're gonna be a Poshmark ambassador, and you're gonna be helping people just like me in a short amount of time. All right, y'all. So thanks again for checking out the live stream. I'm gonna try to do this at least once a week because now I've invested quite a bit into to these live shows. I bought a cam link to use my DSLR camera as a webcam, and then I bought this microphone. So now that I spent this money, best believe I'm gonna be on these live streams giving out content, because why buy a microphone? Why buy a cam link if I'm not gonna be on live shows? So if y'all appreciate the live shows, hit the link in the hit the like button, let me know. And we just gonna keep it going. I forgot to send my email address. There we go. DapperAdvisor@gmail.com. That's my email address. All right, y'all. So thanks again for hopping in the live stream, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.